Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Tie my damn shoe with this freeze out on. Alright, guys, so I had to go check my mail, my P.O. box. Somehow I got junk mail at a P.O. box. I don't know how you do that. It is like, I don't know, like 25 degrees. I guess you could call it 20 or lower since I'm going to be moving on a bike. And my visor is fogging up like instantly when it's down all the way. So my face is even colder than that. But today I wanted to discuss what I believe, mind you, is the hardest part. Oh, I thought this was a way to turn around. What I believe is the hardest part about being in the military. Again, mind you, as I've mentioned before, I've only been in a little over a year. And this certainly does not apply to every branch, well, it might. But I'm not going to mention every branch and everything that I think it applies to, because then I'm going to forget one, and then somebody's going to go ape shit in the comments about it, because the brother or they are, or somebody's in that branch. But I'm going to tell you what it is. I'm going to give you an example of by using myself, and then tell you what to do about it. So, what I see as the hardest part about being in the military is what I will call emotional disclosure, or lack thereof. And it's hard just to explain it. Well, no, it's not really hard to explain it, but I'll give you an example using myself. I didn't have the greatest weekend. Thursday, Friday leading into the weekend was pretty shitty for me. And I'm not sharing this, to try to get sympathy. I don't want sympathy from anybody. Fuck you guys. I don't want any of that cheer up shit. These are educational videos when I make the Navy ones. So what happened over the Thursday, Friday, this last Thursday, Friday, was sometime on Tuesday or Wednesday, my aunt was supposed to get a surgery done. So she went in and had to be put under, obviously, for the surgery. And I didn't hear about it until, I saw Facebook, and I was like, what the hell? So she went in for the surgery, and she ended up going into a coma. She slipped into coma. And she was in coma for a couple of days, as far as I know. Like, I don't even have the details on what happened. And she ended up passing away over between Friday and Saturday. I believe it was on Saturday morning that she passed away. Now, mind you, this is in Texas, and I'm in Washington. And, I had to hear about that over Facebook. I eventually started getting texts from my parents later on, making sure I knew about it and that I was okay. They always like to make sure I'm still alive, because sometimes I go quiet because, you're living your own life out here. And yeah, so my aunt passed away. Now, during the same time, I started having issues. Well, I already had issues, but my issues relationship-wise escalated, and it basically turned into like the most awful, we're never going to talk to each other again kind of a battle. And she decided to just like throw all this crap on me about just random shit, like we taking a break or whatever you want to call it. She says I didn't fight for it. Whatever. I'm not gonna go into the details. I'm gonna say that that I wasn't completely undeserving of it, but basically she went into this rant and was like, yeah, I've already found another guy, and I know this and that about him, and all this intimate shit as a kind of like a final fuck you to me. And the way it's working now is as I've mentioned on Twitter and whatnot, my workload is about to shift into like hyperdrive. I'm about to have to, stand duty and stuff like that, and just do a lot of work. So what's going to happen is all of this needs to be put on the back burner, all of it, because you can't just say, I'm not feeling it, I need a couple of days off. You can't do that. You have to keep working. So back to the family thing, there was a lot of squabbling with the family that I don't really know details on that either, so I don't know what's going on there. All I know is my aunt has passed and people are sad, and she was a really close aunt of mine. So I have all of this crap happening all at once while I need to focus on my job and not that. So you have to throw it on the back burner and you have to keep rolling with it. And it's something that's I'm probably never going to get closure on at least one of the two. It's never going to happen. And that sucks. As much as I'm usually, I try to be a rock when it comes to stuff like that. It just sucks. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And you kind of have to take this one with a grain of salt, because it's going to, you might go through the military and you might never have an issue come up. You might be perfectly fine. At the same time, though, you might have something worse than what just happened to me come up. And it might be, like in my case, just before you're about to get deployed or go underway or whatever, whatever branch you're in, whatever you guys do. Like in the Army, imagine if you were in the Army and you got in a huge fight with your wife or your husband, right? This huge fight, like bloodthirsty fight. And then the next day or two, you got sent overseas. And you're not going to talk to them for at least a month or two. You have to think about that. And they kind of iron it in the submarines when you go through school and stuff. They talk about it. They tell you to wait, on your relationships. Don't take anybody serious. They actually will tell you, guys, I'll tell you that. The male teachers, because they're all male instructors, will tell you, don't take any of your current relationships too seriously. When you get 1 or 2 underways under your belt, especially if you're in a fast attack, and your deployments are like 6 months or something like that, once you start getting those under your belt, you guys are going to see me do a weird circle, because I'm not going much further away from the base, as cold as it is. But they're going to tell you not to take anyone seriously until you have 1 or 2 underways under your belt and they're still around and they're still loyal. And it's because of that. You might get in a little squabble, and you go underway, and all you're going to be thinking is oh, she's going to cheat on me, or she's going to leave me, I'm going to come back and my stuff's going to be in the street or something like that. And it might be. It might not, but you're going to think in your head it's going to be worst case scenario. You're going to think that. So, that, again, without going into too much, I'm not going to make it an emotionally depressing video, because it's not. Like I said, I'm giving you examples, and then I'm going to lead you into what you could do about it. So yeah, all this crap with me and what I'm going through, and what you do to solve it, the problem solver, the fixer, is you lean on your new family. Again, I can't speak for the other branches. I can't even speak for Surface Navy, because, Jesus, does this sound like I'm talking with a lisp? My cheeks are puffy as hell. But you just lean on your new family. Like in my case, it's not my whole crew, it's my division that I lean on. And they notice. They will notice very quickly. And submarines, they notice fast. And I've seen it already. We'll just be screwing around, and one of the guys will be kind of upset, or he didn't like how something went, or that he got yelled at, or he didn't like that somebody else got yelled at, and it'll show. And our chief caught it really fast. We were talking, and we all split up, and the way he reacted and walked away from the group, my chief was like, hey, and he stopped him and pulled him back, and they went off to the side to discuss what was happening, and what he was going through, and why he felt, the way he did. And they worked through it, and my chief was like, we're going to try to help you with this, and they try to help you. And I could say, especially on submarines, because, you can't go to work, thinking about that stuff. You really can't. As tough, badass as I might try to make it sound, but you don't want to go to work distracted. And let's say you're a sonarman like myself. Your job is to stare at a screen for 8 hours and read the screen properly so that everyone stays alive. So can you imagine if that guy is distracted and he's looking down, he's looking around, he's not really focusing on his job? It's extremely dangerous. So, as close as we already are at submarines, you know, that makes you even more sensitive to your shipmates to take care of them. So, you know, in my case, you know, I started, you know, laughing and joking around with some guys and hanging out with them, and like a couple of them know. And since a couple of them know, everybody in the crew probably knows by now, you know, about that stuff. And I'm fine with that, because they're either going to pick on me, you know, in a big brother laughing kind of way, or they're going to talk to me about it if they feel that I'm getting too distracted or seem down or whatever. And I'm sure people in the Army, the Marines, and even maybe surface guys, you'll always hear that kind of surface guys when I say that, but I guess even surface guys will, you know, kind of pull together for each other on that, and that really will get you through it. Relationship stuff, as cold-hearted as it is going to make me sound, fuck it. You know, there's going to be another girl. If you're a girl, there's going to be another guy. If they didn't want to wait for you, somebody's going to come along that you're perfect for, and they love the fact that you're in the military, and when you go underway or you get deployed or for whatever, they become like the biggest fucking cheerleader, you know, gung-ho Navy person in existence. You know, they just like, they talk you up to everybody, they're proud of you and everything like that. You'll find somebody eventually like that. There's tons of people like that. And you just have to wait to find that person.